Am I an idiot for telling my fiance we should call off the wedding if she doesn't approve of my female best man? So, I, male 28, proposed to my girlfriend Jasmine, female 24, in March. Earlier this week she and I were talking about wedding plans and she already picked out who her bridesmaids were gonna be and was questioning me about my groomsmen to see who'd walk with who and all that. I told her who I wanted and let her know that my best man was actually going to be my friend Kate, 27 female. Jasmine kind of freaked out and was really adamant about her not being the best man. I asked her why and she listed off a lot of reasons, none of which I believe. She said it'll look weird in the photos, it'll be weird when Kate has to walk down the aisle with her maid of honor, that she doesn't want Kate to be distracting to guests, that Kate's too short. WTF. To stand next to a bunch of 6 feet plus guys. The reasons were ridiculous, and I told her as much. She told me I should respect her wishes for the wedding and gave me suggestions for other best men. I know the real reason might be jealousy, but I don't want to just drop it and go along with her insecurities. We ended up getting into a big argument. Jas was upset that I wasn't budging on my stance and I was mad she was acting so irrational. She was being really accusatory about why I wanted Kate in the wedding so badly. I finally told her if she doesn't want to let me have this one thing, maybe there shouldn't be a wedding at all. She got really angry and told me to just leave our apartment. I've been couch surfing at a friend's for the past couple days, not Kate. Last time I tried to talk to Jas she asked if I was ready to apologize and I said no, cause I don't want her to think she was right about forbidding me from letting Kate be in the wedding. And before anyone asks, no, Kate and I have never been sexual or romantic. She's been one of my closest friends and introduced me to my current social circle. I used to be an awkward nerdy guy who had trouble making friends. Now I'm an awkward nerdy guy with a social life. We survived grad school together and she's been with me through high and low parts of life and it seems insane to not include her in my wedding. Jas and Kate know each other but aren't friends, and over time has got used to me having a close female friend without being jealous, mistrusting, or so I thought. Am I an idiot? Edit. I should mention, Jasmine has never acted this way before and is usually pretty easygoing and understanding. And she didn't so much as kick me out as she said, well, maybe you should just go then, and I called her bluff and left. She tried to get me to come back, and also apologize, but we're both hard-headed when it comes to what we want. I don't want to call off the wedding and I get why Jas was upset by me saying we should. But I wanted her to know how serious I was. Edit 2. No idea if anyone will read this. I didn't want to make a whole update post since it's only been a day, but anyways. I went back home today after cooling off and Jas and I had a long talk and I'm not going into the details. TL. Doctor, we're not calling off the wedding, but we're gonna talk about this more and try to come up with a mutual solution. No idea what that is yet. And just to address a few things I've seen a lot of. 1. No, Kate is not single. 2. Jas and Kate are friendly, but they aren't friends. I'm not very close to any of Jas's friends either. 3. Kate and I have known each other for almost 7 years. I've been with Jas for 2 years. 4. I am not attracted to Kate and we're not going to run off into the sunset together. Stop watching bad rom-coms. 5. It's 2020. I can be friends with a woman without wanting to sleep with her. 6. I'm not choosing another woman over Jas. If Kate were a man and Jas didn't want him in the wedding, I'd have a right to be pissed. But since Kate's a woman, suddenly I don't love my fiance enough. That's bullshit. 7. Oh, and if you've implied I'm gonna have an affair, already cheated. Freak off. Update. My fiance and I ended up making up and reconciling a few days later. We were talking about compromises and it was still a touchy subject, but I thought it was going well. And we'd recover. I wish I could leave it at that. She's now my ex-fiance. A little over 2 weeks after our fight, a friend of Jas contacted me. She told me Jasmine had been venting to her friends over the Kate situation, and she couldn't keep quiet any longer because it wasn't fair to me. This friend sent me messages between Jasmine and her friends, where Jasmine is essentially talking about not trusting me and Kate, and saying some pretty derogatory things about her. If that was it, I'd be angry but not furious. Long story short, the conversation turns into some confusing back and forth. The friend that sent me the messages filled me in with what she knew. Basically, Jas had an affair before we got engaged. It had allegedly been just one time with some guy she doesn't talk to anymore, but I don't know what to believe. Based on the messages, it seems like that was the case. Apparently all of her friends knew about this and I was being played the whole time. I talked to Jas and she denied it, but I told her I didn't care, she needed to leave. She was throwing a fit and refused to, so I left my own home again because of her. Told her I'd tell everyone what she did if she didn't pack up her poop and go by the time I returned. It worked. 2 days later I came back and she was gone. She's tried contacting me to set things right, but I'm not interested. She can keep the ring for all I care at this point. I just don't want to see her yet. I felt so stupid and worthless and embarrassed. I didn't tell anyone the reason we broke it off. No idea what Jas is telling people, and I don't care. The past month and a half has been a nightmare, but I've been slowly recovering my pride, and I'm trying to convince myself what she did was her own fault, not mine. It works about half the time. And because I know some of you are going to ask because you think this is some shitty freaking rom-com, I didn't go running to Kate. I've hardly spoken to her or anyone else for a while now. I've been enjoying quarantine and being left alone. That's my final update on the situation. Those of you who said Jas was being paranoid because she had something to hide can go pat yourselves on the back. Not an idiot. Sorry to hear that, but honestly not surprised. Cheaters tend to judge others by their own standards, so it makes sense that she would accuse you. You are not stupid or worthless, and the embarrassment is hers, not yours. You deserve better in a relationship, and I hope you get it. Not an idiot. I've been cheated on before, walked in on it and everything, and I applaud your strength. It took me a while to realize it wasn't because something was wrong. If anything, reach out to your core friends and tell them what's up. It really helps to have PPL in our corner. Like you, I didn't really tell anyone what happened except like 4-5 close friends, and that was a massive help. Also, I started therapy like 9 months after the fact, and that significantly helped. What would you do if your fiancé cheated on you? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for threatening to ban my brother from my wedding because he plans on proposing at the reception? I, male 25, and I'm getting married in December. My fiancé, female 24, and I both are very excited and busy planning, and this incident is making things much more stressful. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about the wedding with my brother, male 30, and he asked if it'd be okay for him to propose to his girlfriend at our wedding. I laughed and said, yeah, sure, if you want to get your ass handed to you by my fiancé. He laughed, and I figured he got the message. The other day, my fiancé came to me, in tears, saying that my brother had called her and thanked her for letting him propose at the wedding. She told him that it never happened, and he wasn't allowed to do that, and he just laughed and thanked her again. I called my brother back and asked him what was going on. He's insisting that he's going to propose to his girlfriend at the wedding. He claims it's getting even, for when I announced our engagement at the same family dinner, he brought his girlfriend to meet the family. I had no idea. They arrived separately and she got there after I had made the announcement. I told him if he doesn't get it through his head that he is absolutely not allowed to propose. Both him and his girlfriend won't be allowed into the wedding at all, and if he tries to pull a stunt, he'll be kicked out immediately. He didn't take it well and told the whole family. My fiancé and I have been getting calls and messages from them telling us how shitty we are for doing that. How dare I turn my back on my brother? He's also now blaming me for spoiling the proposal to his girlfriend and the family, because if I hadn't been such an ass, he wouldn't have had to break the news to the family like this. I still stand by what I did. I don't think I was out of line at all, but my fiancé thinks we should have just let him propose to avoid conflict. I know it means a lot to her that everyone gets along and that there's no hard feelings, especially since she's feeling stressed as his, but I don't want to give in to my brother. Am I an idiot? Edit. Thanks for all the responses. I didn't expect this to get this many comments. To address something. While I understand the intent behind the suggestions, my fiancé and I will not be telling my brother that we'll announce a pregnancy at his wedding in retaliation. We are unable to conceive, and this is a sore subject to us. Update. As I mentioned a couple times in the comments of my original post, my fiancé and I wrote up a Facebook post to explain the situation to our families, mostly mine, including screenshots of texts with my brother. I decided I didn't want to link the post here as it feels a little too personal to be slapping on Reddit. Sorry, as expected. Once the family heard our side of the story and put everything together, many of them changed their tune. Most of the family members who had been calling me an idiot ended up apologizing and siding with me and my fiancé. My brother was livid. He called me about an hour after the post went up and demanded that I take it down because it made him look bad. He said he was being unfairly attacked, and even blamed me for his girlfriend breaking up with him. My brother has formally been banned from the entire wedding, and we've asked any family members who continue to side with him to RSVP that they will not be attending. Our parents aren't happy with the turnout, and my mother has decided she won't be attending my wedding because of how I'm alienating my brother during an important event. I don't mind. I've never been very close with her, and while it is a bit sad that she's choosing my hard-headed brother over my wedding, I still have my father's full support. My brother's, now ex-girlfriend, is still invited and got promoted to bridesmaid because of how helpful and supportive she's been to my fiancé. Hopefully this is the last issue we'll run into during wedding planning. Not an idiot. I love a bit of karma. He was a jerk and now he has no wedding to attend to and no girlfriend to propose to, and to top it off, the girlfriend is now a bridesmaid. If that isn't satisfaction from karma, then I don't know what is. If that was me, I'd end up walking around with the smuggest of smiles on my face for a very long time. I'm sorry, I'm just pretty like that. Not an idiot. Wow, I mean, the silver lining is that you now have less food, chairs, etc. to prepare. Right. I love the fact that my ex-GF is now the bridesmaid. Could be the start of a great friendship, or at least it sounds like it, lol. Opus, I wish you and your future wife health and good fortune, and most importantly happiness. Do you think it's weird to propose at a wedding? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for possibly making my parents homeless? This isn't just me, it includes my twin brother. My brother and I, male 17, had an accidental pregnancy. For context, our oldest sibling is 37 and has a kid who goes to our high school. Our nearest sibling is 28. My parents always made it clear that we weren't supposed to exist. They were never abusive or neglectful or anything, but they were kind of cold our whole childhood. My brother and I will graduate high school in about a week, and we'll be 18 in 2 weeks. My parents have told us that as soon as we turn 18, we will have to pay rent. Neither of us have jobs, and we probably won't be able to get jobs right now. I confided in my sister that I'm really stressed about this, and she offered to let my brother and I stay with her while we're in university, completely free of charge. I'm really grateful for this, and we're planning on accepting her offer. I told my parents about this, and they freaked out. I guess my mom was planning to move to part-time work and they needed rent from my brother and I to keep up with rent. They said that they have provided for us our whole lives, and we should pay them back now that we're almost adults. I mean, it's true. They have given us everything we needed for 18 years, and I really don't want them to be homeless if they can't afford the rent. but I don't know how I would even afford to live with them. Am I an idiot? Edit. My brother and I both have some savings, so we could conceivably pay rent for a few months. I also feel guilty moving in with my sister, because she has 3 little kids and a cat to take care of, and I don't want to put any extra strain on her. None of my siblings have a great relationship with our parents, so my parents won't ask them for help. Edit number 2. I'm actually shocked by the support here. I've been talking it over with my brother, and we're going to move out as soon as we legally can. Thanks guys. Also, I don't know how to add a photo, so for all of you asking for a cat tax, I'm just going to tag my sister somewhere in the comments and you can go look at Eris on her profile. Hey folks, it's been like 3 weeks and many things have happened. I graduated high school, go me. I turned 18, and I moved out. I finally feel like I'm adulting, kind of. I moved in with my sister the day after my birthday, and I've been living with her for a bit over 2 weeks. It's been really weird. They do all of this stuff in her house that we never did as kids. Family dinners every night. Never done it once until now. My sister and her fiance carve out blocks of time to spend with the kids. My parents never did that. My oldest nephew, he's 10, dropped an open can of pineapple in the kitchen a few days ago. I expected him to get yelled at, but my sister just helped him clean it up and told him to grab a new can from the pantry. That was weird. My parents were never that chill. When I was a kid, I would see these perfect families on TV. Shout out to Dinosaur Train Elmo. And my parents always told me that those kinds of parents didn't exist. That it was all made up for TV. That real parents don't take that much of an interest in their kids' lives and interests. I believe them until now. In the past few weeks, I've seen my sister and her fiance spend hours making model plans with my oldest nephew, or rocking the youngest to sleep when she was overtired. That stuff never happened when I was a kid. My niece, she's 4, woke up in the middle of the night last week, crying about something. Instead of telling her to STFU and go to bed, my sister's fiance got up and sat with her until she fell asleep. I guess I was just surprised that my experiences aren't the norm. Anyway, both my brother and I are doing really well here. My brother has been cooking a lot. He's going to culinary school, and everyone seems to really appreciate it. I've been spending time with my nieces and nephew, and I have played more Minecraft these past 2 weeks than I think I've played in my entire life. If anyone knows what Titanfall 2 is, please help me out. I've been an adult for less than a month, and these children and their newfangled video games already confuse me. This is all just a very long-winded way to say thanks. If I hadn't posted here, I don't think I would have moved out. My savings would basically be drained, and I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. So thank you. Now I guess it's time to see if I can figure out how to do an update post. Edit. Shout out to my sister for basically raising me for 12 years and also being an amazing parent. I could just go and say all this to her face, but there's so many stairs in this house and I'm lazy. Kalani, how many times am I going to have to say it before you accept that you're a good person? Every time I go to thank you for giving up space in your house for me and Cam, you say that if you didn't help us out, it would have been someone else. I get that you have strangely low self-esteem, as evidenced by your Am I the Idiot post, but can you just accept that you're an unbelievably good person and move on so I can finally thank you? Not an idiot. So you can't come downstairs to compliment me, but you can come downstairs to tell me to go upstairs to get my phone and then come back downstairs so you can see my reaction to you complimenting me. I see how it is. Honestly, I'm just happy you're here. I told you before, me and Michael and Daniel have been waiting so long to move you guys out of that house. I'm just the one who has the available rooms. If Michael wasn't overseas, it would have been him. If Daniel had another room, it would have been him. But anyway, I love you both. It's been really nice to have some extra hands around the house, especially with Cam and his cooking. I see why he's going to culinary school. The kids love you. Ethan thinks you guys are great. Even Eris likes you, and that's pretty darn rare. Keep being the person you are, and I think this arrangement is going to work out fantastic.